screen. Okay, so where we are, DynamoDB. Okay, till here I hope everyone got this response, right? Shashwat and Chiranjeevi have practiced this, correct? So then that's the end of the DynamoDB. Today we are going to talk about Redshift. Okay, what is Redshift, why it is used, and also we are going to talk about Elastic Cache and EFS. Like, just okay, fine. So what is Redshift? Let us see. Yes. So Redshift. What is this Redshift? First, here see data warehousing. What is data warehousing? So we use this Redshift. It is a service related to database and related to data warehousing. Warehousing means see Walmart might have n number of warehouses, correct? So Walmart has a business across the globe. Not only Walmart, there are n number of companies which are doing business across the globe. What they do, they maintain some warehouses. What will be the products in the warehouses? It might be, it might be electronics. It might be, food related items. It may be related to furniture, whatnot, everything. Even the Flipkart will also maintain some warehouses. Yes or not? See, for they will have some hubs. Not only Flipkart, even the delivery companies like Delivery, Express B, DTDC. So all these kind of delivery kind of a things or e-commerce or big companies like Walmart, they are supposed to maintain some warehouse. Why do they maintain the warehouse? To store the products, and from there they gonna deliver those products to the respective customer. So this will be the flow. Whenever a customer tries to buy a product from a e-commerce or whenever from any other website, the company is gonna pick the product, and then from there it's gonna transfer that product to their nearby hub, like central hub. We can call it a central hub. From central hub, like for the whole of Odisha, they'll have some central hub. From that central hub, they might shift that products to that nearby smart hub. From that smart hub, they are going to give a delivery order through a delivery boy or through a delivery van to the customer. So this is the complete flow. In this complete flow, there are lot of products are included, lot of category of products are involved, and lot of manpower is also involved. Like product may come with some van or with a lorry, or it may come through train. So the mode of transport is essential, and that is called data. And whatever product is coming, which category it goes on, that is also related to data. So storing the products in a warehouse and maintaining the data of that warehouse is called data warehousing. If it is a simple data in one hub, it is easy for everyone. But if it is a globalized one, if everything has to be maintained, we cannot maintain manually. We need to have a system. So in order to have a system, right, someone has to take care of the process. Think this is a complete globe. So here is one hub, here is one hub, here is another hub, another hub, another hub. Yeah, we can call it as one, two, three, 4, 5, 6. This may have a number of products. This may have a number of products. And the status of the product should also be mentioned. Like, is it a still active? Is it broken or is it expired? So all the data has to be managed. Correct. So see if the data is like 1 GB, that can be managed. If the daily data goes for thousands of GB, this is called input data. Means What happens with that? See, take the example this one. This is one hub. So when a customer makes an order, say for example, this is a Flipkart. So when he purchase an order, what happens? Flipkart is going to procure this order from the seller. He is the buyer. He made an order for the purchase. So this Flipkart guy takes the order from this guy. He is the guy who is selling the product. From this, from here, it will go to the nearby hub. So take nearby hub is this. From this hub, it will go to the customer. This is how the process flows. So here, this is one data, and then picking the product from here, it is also a data, because we need to understand for who is giving the data, at what time is giving the data, who is picking this product. Okay, who's picking this product on behalf of Flipkart. Where is he going? Is he going to the hub or not? In hub, whom did he meet? What is his vehicle number? What are the products he gave? Is it the product which is mentioned by the user same or not? From here, everything is related to the data. When it is in the global wise, the data will be very high. So in order to have a clear and automated form of data transferring and all, we have a concept called RedShift. This is specially for big data. It's not like very small data, no. It is for the big companies to maintain the data and all. See, use it to pull in very large and complex data sets. It is useful to pull. Pull means to get the request, to get the data, usually used by management to do queries on the data. Queries means what? To get the data, correct? Next example, there are some examples like Cognos, Jasper. These are like queries, queries provider softwares and all. SQL queries, server reporting service. These are all services which we will be taking in order of queries. And there are two processes. What is this? One is OLTP and another one is OLAP. What is OLTP? OLTP means online transaction processing. Okay, what is, why it is used? If you want to get some data, some value from an Excel sheet, what will you do? You are supposed to give the number of that cell, like which row it is and in which column it is. If that is known to the Excel sheet, then automatically the Excel sheet is going to give that data to us. That is nothing but online transaction processing. Okay, so here I need a particular value in so and so row and so column. That means that there here we can use OLTP. Another one, OLAP. Why OLAP is used? First of all, what is OLAP? OLAP means online analytics pro processing, right? Why this is used? If you want a sum of some data, if you want a sum of, like, you need to know what are the electronics left out in the warehouse, then what will you do? You can't just go there and do it manually, correct? So for that you're going to use a process called OLEP. With this process, these two processes are that are part and parcel of these service providers. So with this OLEP, we are going to understand the sum of the leftover electronics or whatever. We can get the value, sum of values, or any, for that matter, for any calculation part. Analytics comes not only for the subtraction, I mean addition or subtraction, but anything. Analysis. It is mainly used for analysis. See, this redshift is only for the theoretical base I'm providing. This we are not going to do in practical, so no worries. Just understand these terminologies. What is OLTP? What is OLAP? What is data warehousing? Why we are using? What are some of the service provider softwares for data warehousing? So just understand this for the certification progress. Now, Amazon RedShift. There is a process called Amazon RedShift. It is fast and powerful, fully managed petabyte scale. What is petabyte scale data warehousing? We will see. So this is a petabyte scale data warehouse service in the cloud. So just like AWS providing n number of services, here also it is providing one more service called Amazon RedShift. It is very fast and powerful. It is completely managed by AWS. If anything happens to the redshift, then it is completely taken care by the AWS team. It is not we are creating this. It is completely managed in the backend by the AWS. So what is petabyte? Petabyte means nothing but 1000 terabytes, whereas 1 terabyte is equals to 1000 GB, which means, see, you understand the concept here. This Redshift is used in petabytes, means it is not useful for a small organizations. It is useful for the big organizations. That is why this Redshift is mostly useful for the data warehousing. If the data is very used, then for the data migration, data analysis, data processing and all, we use Redshift. So here there is a concept called single node and multi node. What is single node? Which means, I'll tell you. So this is our EC2, another one. So these are called web servers. So question to Sanskriti. Yeah, so there we should use one service. Okay. What does that service do? That service should distribute the load, traffic among all these three servers equally. What is that service called, Sanskriti? You're traveling. Okay. Shashwat, you can. Yeah, it is a elastic load balancer. Correct? So all these are in one region. Okay. If the region completely fails off, then what happens? See, these all are in availability zone 1A. This is in 1B. This is in 1C. And this region is Mumbai. Correct? So my question is how to back off these web servers. We don't want to lose our web servers, right? So if the region of Mumbai has completely gone down with the floods, then how can we save? With which service? Question to Chiranjeevi. Pardon, pardon. My question is okay. Understand my question. You got it? Okay, tell me. No, no, no. Okay, I'll tell you. See, we have three servers. If this server fails, this server will up and running. Here we can use auto scaling concept we can use. Okay, this is auto scaling. If one server fails, another server will automatically come and up and running. To give the to manage the load, we use elastic load balancer. What does elastic load balancer do? It will distribute the load equally. That is part. So can we have two load balancers? We can't have. We can only have one load balancer. So load balancer is at a regional level. Correct? In Mumbai only we can use load balancer. So load balancer can be used to all the web servers, but it can you be used in Mumbai only. We can't have this backup in another region, which means if Mumbai fails, this will go down. Automatically this all will go down. Correct or not? So for that purpose only we had a we had a route 53. If this fails, we can connect here called failover method. Correct? Failover method. We have a certain policy. So route 53. Correct? So now this is the process we are following till now. Now my question is, this is one database what we had earlier. Correct? Like it can be RDS or it can be DynamoDB. For to have the backups and all, we had a concept called read replica. Am I right? With that, and we had some backups and all. So with that, we are supposed to get our database as a backup. If anything happens to this, also we can get backup of a database. That also we learned now. So here the database we need to use RedShift. Why we are supposed to use the RedShift? Because there is a high data warehousing process. So we are going to use RedShift. While using this RedShift, we have two components. Till here it is clear? Okay. So this is the RedShift. So RedShift, I'll tell you. These are web servers. Okay. This is like load balancer. And above we have a Route 53. That is fine. Now, this is the RedShift. So since the data warehousing is used, we are going to use the RedShift service here. So one RedShift can can process up to 160 GB of data. It is the maximum threshold limit of this RedShift. So if the queries goes beyond 160 GB, then this one RedShift will not be useful. So we need some more. We need some more. What is this called? These are called slaves, or we can also call as nodes. Slaves or nodes. This is called master node. This is called master node, or this can be also called as leader node. What does leader node or master node do? It only process in creation of slave nodes. It will create the slave node depending on the data queries. If the data queries is more than 160 GB, it will create another node because one node is not helpful. If it is more than 320 GB, then it will create another node. So basically the master node or leader node will focus only on creation of these nodes depending on the data queries. Correct? It will, and again, if the, here is the user, he makes a query, it goes here and the query might go here. From here the query will go here. From here the query might go here. This is how the process is, right? It will go from here to here, from here also it may go here. So what if this slave node goes off? If this slave node goes off, then automatically this master node will create another node, and this node, whatever data is there, this will also be available in the master node, but in a zip file. Just like our lappy will have zip file and extract, we can extract from the zip files. Like that, it is highly compressed. If it is here, 160 GB of data, then here it will only be 16 GB, but the format is in highly compressed. From here it will automatically create a new slave node and it will extract this 16 GB highly compressed data to 160 GB. So which means even though if the slave node gets failed, this master node or leader node will help to recover, right? So it will help in the connections. So this is another slave, right? Like this, it will help to route the traffic, or no, to route the query. It's not the traffic, it's about the query. Query means what? If somebody, in a Flipkart database, in a Flipkart hub, the manager is trying to get a data, of what he wants to see, the data of this month for the period of November. He wants to see how much stock is left in the electronics category. So what he's trying to do, he's trying to get the data from the database. Okay, that is called a query. Retrieving the data is called a query. Okay, so this query goes from there to reader node, and from here automatically it may go here, or it may send to this, or it may send to here, based because this will contain up to 160 GB, this may contain up to 160 GB, this may contain up to 160 GB of data. That is how it's gonna do it. Correct? Next, like this, what is the number of nodes a leader node can create? It can create up to 128 slave nodes. So this architecture is called multi-node architecture. This is called multi-node architecture. So leader node focuses on root queries. Queries means to retrieve the data, and connections. It will maintain all the connections with the slave nodes. If anything happens to the slave nodes, it automatically creates a new one with the same data. Then what does slave node do? Slave node, or just a node we can call it. Slave node focuses on the data storage and queries. Whatever queries it gets, it's gonna respond to the queries, and it gives the data response to the queries. Let us see the file. See, single node architecture, single node, it can maintain up to 160 GB, whereas multi-node, leader node manages client connections and receives the queries, whereas compute node stores data and performs queries and computations up to, I mean, this is up to 120 compute nodes. No, the leader node can have it. Let's make it to the another point. Node can create. Okay, and there is another process. This is called massive parallel processing. What is massive parallel processing? This Amazon RedShift automatically distributes the data and query load. Okay, and the data and query load across all the nodes. This process of distribution is called massive parallel processing. While in load balancing, it is called round robin method. But here it is called massive parallel processing. Redshift makes it easy to add nodes to your data warehouse and enables you to maintain fast query performance as your data warehouse grows. So, as our data queries is growing and growing, then what happens automatically? Let us understand here. Where is it? So, if the data in this slave node increases to 128 GB or more, then automatically another one will be created. If the data is increased to more than 128 GB, another one is created. So the process of this is not manual, it is completely automation, correct? So this automation is completely managed by the AWS and with the help of MPP. What is MPP? Let us see, massive parallel processing, correct? So this is all about Redshift. We are not going to do practical on this. If you all want practical, you can see our YouTube video. I'm going to share in a couple of days. Now, there is another concept. There is another concept called elastic cache. What is elastic cache? What is elastic cache? Now, let us understand. So, take example of Amazon. So, Amazon, what does Amazon do? They maintain a discounts on a particular period of time. Example, like Republic Day they maintain, or or they call it as Diwali celebrations. So these are the days where they maintain some good offers, correct or not? They maintain a very good offers called discounts, use discounts and offers. Do they run all the time? Do they run these offers all the time? No, they run on for a period of time. For a period of time, they are gonna run this Republic Day, Diwali celebrations wala offers. So now, what is the latest iPhone 13 or 14? 14, correct? So let us understand. So there is an iPhone 14. Okay. So there is a huge discount of 50 percentage, or let us make it as 25 percentage. So there is a huge discount for the iPhone, and that is around 25% discount, and that goes from November 1st to 10th. This is the period of data. What is caching? Caching means temporary. So the files gets created in our laptop is called cache. Those are temporary files which are created. Likewise, here we have a requirement. What is that requirement? To run this offer for a particular period of time. So what happens in the backend? So this is our EC2. We have another EC2. We have another EC2. From here we have a database. So this is our database. Okay. So here think this database is a Redshift one. So what does Redshift will have? It will have a nodes called slave nodes. It will have some slave nodes or read replicas, whatever. So now that data related to iPhone is here. So when a customer from here tries to book an order, so when he tries to book an order, just a minute. This is a load balancer, goes here and then here. Okay. So when this guy tries to book an order, tries to place an order for iPhone, it will go to the load balancer. From load balancer, it will direct to the respective server, either this or this. From here, it will go to the database, and from database master, it may go to the, if it is iPhone data is here, so it will go to the this node. Yes, yes. So what happened here? One, two, three, four. What happened? There is a use process, and this is not a generic process. Everyone wants to get that iPhone, so the load will be very high. If everyone tries for that period of time for the iPhone, the load will be very high. So to maintain the load for a particular period of time, and we have only one product we are running in the offer, or we may have a small number of products which we wanted to run. So for that purpose, what is the challenge we are getting here? We are getting a network delay. Correct or not? It is going here, 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 and then from here it is getting to the response here, and from here to the server, from server to load balancer, from load balancer to the. So there might be a issue in the network delay. It's called network delay or latency. Latency means network delay. You get a response slow. What if the Flipkart phone doesn't respond to you? Tell me, do you use it, or for a 1 minute if it doesn't respond, you just close the app, which means Flipkart may lose its business, its potential business it may lose. So they don't want this to happen. So for that they have another service called Elastic Cache. What is this Elastic Cache do? This cache is going to be placed above the database. In this Elastic Cache, we can store the data related to the iPhone. Okay, I'm going to keep the related data of iPhone here. I can copy here. I will not cut the cut the data here and paste it here. No, I'll just copy this iPhone data here. What happens? The data of iPhone will be here in the elastic cache as well as here also. So what happens here when a customer makes, this is just like a temporary database. Elastic cache means nothing but a temporary database, and it is placed on the above database, original database. It might be Redshift, it might be DynamoDB, it may be Redshift, whatever for that matter. But here in our example, we are talking about Redshift. So when user tries to get a purchase of iPhone, he just goes to the load balance and then he directly goes to the Elastic Cache. Since the product is here, this will respond and automatically he will get a response. So there will not be any network delay, so no latency. Okay. What if he tries for another product which is not in the elastic cache? What if he tries for another product? What will happen? Can any guesses? So we kept only iPhone product in this elastic cache. He is trying for Samsung phone. So Samsung is here. What happens if he makes a request? Okay, but then there is elastic cache between database and all the servers. It is on top of DB. Hmm. Yes, yes, we did not maintain. We only kept iPhone database, correct. What happens if a user tries to request a Samsung data which is in the node database but not in the Elastic Cache? What happens? So in that case, the process, the request will go through the Elastic Cache through the DB. It will go through, and this DB will process here. From here, it will get a response to Elastic Cache. From Elastic Cache, it will go to the user. Okay. So the here Elastic Cache is also allowing the queries to get through it. So that is the reason it is also called throughput. I'll show you in the document also. No worries with my mistakes. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay, your question is why can't we put all the data into the elastic cache? Okay, we can keep, but then what did I tell here? Cache means temporary. We can keep the data only temporary for a particular period of time only. We cannot maintain as a main source of data. This is like auto scaling. Like if the data is more, it can grow into the size, but then this we can maintain only to the some extent period of time. That is how it is created. For the normal purpose and all, we, yeah, for the queries and all. Yeah, if the offer runs off, we don't run this offer for whole year. Now we run only for a particular day or a particular period of time. So to maintain the load for a particular period of time, it is waste to create a big database. It is waste because it is only one product what you wanted to give the offer. So why to create a new database and all? That is a big hectic process. For that, for that service only we are using Elastic Cache. Got it? Okay. So Elastic Cache. So Elastic Cache is a web service that makes it easy to deploy, operate, and scale an in-memory cache in the cloud. Nothing but it is saying you can create this Elastic Cache on above the database immediately. You can deploy immediately, and it will operate and it will scale. If the queries related to iPhone is more, it is crossing 10 GB. The Elastic Cache will also grow in size. That's what he's trying to say. So this service improves the performance of web applications. Yes or no? More and more people tries for iPhone also. Flipkart will not hang. So if the Flipkart app is not getting hanged or not getting crashed, it means it is performing well. So by allowing you to retrieve information from fast managed in-memory caches, which means the data is in the memory of the elastic cache instead of relying entirely on slower disk-based database. So here we are not following from the from the database. right? See here we kept the data in the elastic cache in spite of keeping in the database and all. So this elastic cache is performing it easy in a very faster way. It can be used to significantly reduce the latency. Because of the use of elastic cache, we got reduced in the network delay, correct? So that is the reason we here he is saying that it is very much important in reducing the latency and throughput. It will also allow the queries. It will also allow the queries which are in the database in the node or in the master node. So it is allowing the queries from within it. That is called throughput. For many read heavy applications, even though the read heavy applications are very heavy also, it can give access, it can allow like social networking, gaming, media sharing, whatever. Caching improves application performance by storing critical pieces of data in critical means nothing but see for iPhone, we are running a discount on the iPhone. So that iPhone related content is important for us. So everyone tries to get the iPhone for a 50% discount. So that is why it is called critical data. That critical piece of data we are going to put it in the elastic cache. So that will reduce the latency, low latency access, which means it is very fast. So there are two types of elastic cache. One is memcached and the other one is Redis. Redis means open source. If anything happens for this Redis application while we have installed or any problem comes, nobody is going to support because this is a open source. You need to troubleshoot and all. Whereas if it is memcached, who is providing that service, they are going to manage. Even though if we lose our elastic cache also, they are going to get it back. So here you will get a support. Here you will not get a support. So this is all about elastic cache and uh, what did you learn? Redshift, Redshift. So till here, theoretically, does anyone have any questions? If no, then fine. There is another concept called EFS. It is also very interesting one. But then I don't want to tell today. It is a separate class. Even though time is there around for 10 to 15 minutes, I don't want to take class for EFS because it's a continuity class. It is a very interesting one. We'll have a practical for EFS. We will be seeing in practical. So we can have EFS on tomorrow. If anyone is having previous, doubts in previous sessions, they can ask. And one more thing, if you will get, after your practice, everyone try to terminate your instances, terminate your services. If not, you will be billed heavily by the AWS team. If you all got any bills in AWS, you just mail to the support team stating that, "Hi, dear team, I am so and so. I am learning AWS Solution Architect course, so I'm just trying to practice all the services to get into my job and all. So I request your team to please waive off my bill, whatever has been penalized on my account." You can write it in such a way. For that also, I'm going to make a video of 5 minutes how to raise a support for the team for the AWS. They're going to waive for for couple of times, but before writing a mail to them or before requesting a token for the support team, you need to terminate all the instances and services. Only then they will consider. If you run a particular web server, EC2 services and all, and if you try to waive off, they don't do it. They'll ask you to first remove all the no, first remove all your services and then you get back to us. So before approaching them, make sure all your services are completely removed. So I'm going to make a separate video also for that. So you can follow if you have any doubts. So Sanskruti, you can follow that video. Okay. So what is the bill for you, Chiranjeevi? Are you using na AWS? What is the bill you got? Did you get any bill? Mm. Oh, they waived off? How much? Sanskriti got 5,000 odd, I think so. How much Sanskriti you got? What is the bill you got? Sanskriti, what is the bill you got? She got some bill, yeah. She shared me. Let me check. Yeah, yeah. I think. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, something has happened. I also didn't say. Maybe that Open SSL security advisor, and then I saw her. It was the bill. No, she not 5,000. She got 9,432. Mm-mm. Okay, I'll just okay. She has many instances which are in T2 medium, T3 medium, and then so that might have been kept on running from day one. So that might be the issue for her. No problem. Maybe her account will be suspended. She can open another account. Even though if you so no worries with that. It will be helpful for your practice. At least on one card, on credit card, three AWS accounts can be opened. Hmm. Okay, guys, do practice Chiranjeevi. See, once you there are some more classes have been added for AWS certification. So once our regular course is done, I'm going to make videos on those classes because some classes have been added for the AWS Solution Architect course. So those I'll teach in a YouTube thing that you can verify and refer. Hmm? Okay then. Bye all of you. Bye. Bye. Good night.